Hey, welcome back to another episode of Then We Eat. We're hitting the holidays. You know what that means. You got to have lots of appetizers to go to all those parties with. So this appetizer I haven't actually made in a couple of years. So I've hauled it out and we'll show you how it's made. This week's episode, we'll be making crab stuffed mushrooms. Okay, so the first thing we're going to start with is some pickled jalapenos. We do have a recipe for this, so if you'd like to see how they're made, you can just click on the link above my shoulder. So this recipe actually is about 12 ounces of mushrooms or so. I'm going to cut it in half today because we don't really need that many. And we only have enough crab for about half the recipe. When we put it in the description below, though, we'll make sure we put in the full batch. All right, so we're just going to chop up the jalapenos. If you don't want them quite as hot, you can always take the seeds out. I don't worry about it too much. We don't mind a little spice. Now, if you do want to take these as an appetizer, all you have to do is make them ahead of time, then take them to your party and just pop them in the oven for a half an hour. We'll give you all the cooking instructions as we go along here. Okay, so I'm going to add the jalapeno to some cheese. I have a marble cheese here. You can use a jack cheese as well, or whatever cheese you happen to like. This is what I happen to have today. That's what I'm using. Then we're going to add garlic. And as I say, we'll give you the amounts in the description below, because as I say, I'm only making a half a recipe, so it'll be a little inaccurate. So we're going to add some garlic. I'm going to add a little bit more because I like the stuff. Then we're going to add some Worcestershire sauce and then some hot sauce. I'm going to use sriracha today, but you could use Frank's or you could use Tabasco, whatever your favorite hot sauce is. So we'll add a little of that. Did I mention these are spicy? A little Parmesan cheese, freshly grated, and some mayonnaise. If you haven't made homemade mayo, we do have a short on that as well. So we'll try to get that in the description as well so that you can try and make your own. All right, so that's it for that. We'll just get this a quick mix just to get this started, and then we'll add the crab meat. You can, if you find the texture is a little thick, you can always just add a little more mayonnaise. We'll see how it goes once we add the crab. So we're kind of landlocked here, so I'm using canned crab today, but if you can get the fresh stuff, all the better to you. So let me just go off camera here. We'll get her drained and I'll be right back. Okay, so I have the crab drained, so we'll just add that to the bowl as well. Okay, we got the crab in. Let's get her mixed up. You're catching a little chirping in the background. It appears the cat has realized that we have some crab on the counter. This looks a little dry to me, so I'm going to add a little bit more mayo. See where that gets us. Okay, and last but not least, we'll just add a little bit of fresh ground pepper. Very rarely that we don't use it. So now this recipe does call for a little bit of salt. I don't think it needs it. I think there's enough salt between the cheese and the mayo, but give it a taste. If you think it needs a little salt, add some. I don't think it's going to need it. Okay, and there's our filling. So we're just going to take a cookie tray, put down a piece of parchment paper. So I have some brown mushrooms here. You can use cremini as well, or button mushrooms, or whatever type of mushroom that you like that'll stuff. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to take the gills out of the mushroom. It'll give a little more space for the stuffing, and they can taste a little funny anyway. So I'm just going to get rid of them. So when we bought the mushrooms the other day, these are called imperfect. So they might have a blemish, or they might have stems broken off, or whatever the case may be. It's not a big deal. They're just as good as what they would consider the premium ones. So if you can find them, they're generally a lot cheaper. Now they don't have to be perfect, as long as you get the majority out. Really all you're trying to do is make some space for the stuffing. Okay, so I'm going to start with that many. We'll see where the stuffing gets us, and if we have some extra, then we'll do a couple more mushrooms. So you want these pretty full, so don't skimp. Just make a nice big mound in the middle of them. All right, I do have a little extra filling. I'm not going to worry about it right now. What I'll do is we'll use it later on. We'll make some fresh ones to go with dinner. So we'll just put this aside for now. Okay, so I've preheated the oven to 350 degrees. We're going to pop them in for about a half an hour. And I'll probably check them in about 20 minutes just to see how they're doing. And then we'll be back. We'll show you what they look like, give them a little taste. So we'll see you in about 30 minutes. Okay, so I've taken them out of the oven. They did cook for 30 minutes. And then what I did was I just put a spoon under the one side of the pan just to get some of the moisture away from the mushrooms. I've let them cool for about 5 minutes or so because they were bloody hot. So they've cooled down. Let's transfer them to a plate and then we'll give them a taste. So there they are. As you can see, they weren't very difficult to make. They are spicy, I can tell you that. You can always cut back, leave out the hot sauce if you like, but we like the spicy food. So let's give them a taste. We'll see how hot they actually are. Oh yeah, that's exactly how I remember them. They do have a bit of a kick. It's not crippling, but it is definitely spicy. The crab is so good. And the mushrooms, it's just a really, really nice combination. So if you like this video, don't forget to hit the like button. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't already, and hit the notification bell so you're notified every time we upload a new video. We try to upload a new video every Friday. And on top of that, don't forget to comment on the video. We love to hear your comments, and we'd also like to know if you think there's something that we should try to make next. Hey, and don't forget, first we cook, then we eat.